Welcome to our video tip on juggling multiple phone lines in your veterinary hospital. This is Wendy Myers with Communication Solutions for Veterinarians in Denver, Colorado, and we are one of the largest phone skills training providers in the veterinary profession, and we help practice teams with communication skills and client service. We have ongoing monthly webinars, and they're always on the third Thursday of every month. You can get information on our latest topics and training opportunities at csvets.com. Now, when we look at a typical veterinary clinic, according to the American Veterinary Medical Association, there's usually two veterinarians, and there's also usually two client service representatives working at the front desk. Now, it's very common for a veterinary practice to have four or more telephone lines. So you can see here there's more incoming phone lines than there are people to answer those. And I think it's important that we learn how to be very good at multitasking. Now, in a veterinary clinic, the busiest call volume is typically the first and last 2 hours that you're open. So let's say that your veterinary hospital is open from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening. That would mean your heaviest call time would be between 8 and 10 in the morning, and then again between 4 and 6 in the afternoon. So I want you to make sure that your reception team has ongoing skills training so that they can really juggle with confidence. Because an inefficient receptionist is going to frustrate not only visiting clients but also callers if those aren't handled effectively and efficiently. I want to make sure that you also give equal attention to both phone calls and visiting clients. In fact, it's very important to provide prompt attention. So let's say you're working at the front desk and you're in the middle of a phone conversation and a client arrives with her dog. Obviously, she's going to walk to the front counter to check in with you, but you're in the middle of a phone conversation. So what I want you to do is use your body language to signal, I'll be with you in a moment. And how you can do that is to make eye contact with the client as she approaches the front desk, wave or nod, and then as soon as you're finished with that phone call, stand up to greet the visiting client, because that's going to signal through your body language that you're now prepared and ready to help them. Now, I do want you to make both callers and visiting clients feel equally important. In fact, if I'm in the middle of helping a visiting client, I just can't let the phone ring and ring and ring and roll into voicemail. I recommend that veterinary hospitals have a standard of service that all phone calls get answered by the third ring. So let's look at a couple of juggling scenarios. So one of those is that you may be in the middle of checking out a visiting client, and he's in fact got his visa in his hand and handing it over to you. I want you to make sure that you continue to help that client, but you again have to get that telephone call by the third ring. So what I might do is about the second time that phone line rings is say to the client standing in front of me, will you please excuse me for a moment so I can place this caller on hold and then keep helping you. And I think this shows respect and appreciation for his business, but certainly he understands that if you're by yourself, you do need to pick up that ringing phone. Then when you answer the phone call, we teach that a standard greeting has a salutation such as thank you for calling, the full name of the hospital, your name, and then an invitation for service. So when you answer that incoming call, you would say, thank you for calling your veterinary hospital. This is Wendy. Is this a medical emergency, or are you able to hold while I finish checking out another client? Now, I do like for you to ask whether it's a medical emergency before you put a caller on hold, because obviously, if a client's cat is having trouble breathing, you're going to go ahead and assist them right now. And keep in mind that the visiting client standing in front of you is likely to overhear half of the conversation, what you're saying, and quickly understand that it is something serious and it demands your immediate attention. But remember, the caller can't see you and they don't realize that you've got another person that you're in the middle of assisting. So you need to explain a little bit of detail. Are you able to hold while I finish checking out another client? And then this communicates that their hold time should be brief. Now let's look at juggling incoming phone lines, multiple lines that you're managing. So let's say that you're currently talking with a client on line 1 and you're making an appointment for her dog. Line 2 starts to ring. Remember, we have a standard of service of 3 rings or fewer. So on the second ring, I would have you say to the caller on line 1, Are you able to hold for a moment? And the word moment communicates that it will be brief. While I put another caller on hold so I can keep helping you. And the phrase keep helping you shows courtesy and respect that caller number one is your first priority. Then when you answer the second line, you're going to do your standard greeting, ask the medical emergency question, and explain I'm finishing helping another caller, and then I'll be right with you. And the word finishing also communicates that the hold time should be brief. Now, let's say that you have 2 or more calls holding, and now your third phone line rings. You're going to do your standard greeting, ask the medical emergency question, and then explain I have 2 callers ahead of you and we'll be with you as quickly as possible. So this really communicates that they might have a little bit longer than a typical wait time, but that you are giving them a priority of service. Now, whenever you pick up a call that's been placed on hold, make sure you always reintroduce yourself. And I like for you to use the phrase, thank you for your patience, because this really encourages and rewards the behavior that you want. Never say thank you for holding, because the word holding is negative and actually reminds them that they've been waiting. So I hope you found our tips on how to juggle multiple phone lines as well as visiting clients helpful. You can get more information about our training programs at csvets.com.